to help developers go from idea to code and code to cloud. With the world's most popular code editing tools, Visual Studio and VS Code, developers are more productive than ever. With GitHub, they can collaborate and build software together. And with Azure, they have the best-in-class services to build cloud-native apps and modernize existing ones. The Academy of Motion Pictures has used Azure.net and Visual Studio to build their own mobile streaming service, enabling thousands of Academy of members to view Oscar nominees and vote for the selections. Nearly 5,000 developers at Home Depot are collaborating on GitHub to build new customer experiences for home improvement, averaging more than 4,000 commits each day. And Dick's Sporting Goods is modernizing their developer workflow using GitHub, Visual Studio, and Azure all together to rapidly innovate. Teams that previously deployed a few times a month now ship to production daily. This developer productivity has been critical to helping the retail chain navigate this pandemic. In March, their retail teams received an email on a Sunday letting them know that stores were going to close the next day. By Monday, they'd built and deployed the first version of an app with contactless pickup. And by Tuesday, they were already making changes based on customer feedback and data. What a great example of developer velocity in action. And we're going further. With our new Azure Communication Services, every developer can bring rich communications APIs into their applications across any device on any platform using the same reliable, secure infrastructure that powers Microsoft Teams. Think about this. That means the infrastructure behind Microsoft Teams is now available to developers as APIs to embed in their own apps. We're also making it easy to add AI to any application, translating breakthroughs from research and data scientists into capabilities for any developer. We've been doing fundamental research in AI since the start of Microsoft Research. And in the last 4 years, the breakthroughs we've had in achieving human parity milestones, from object recognition to speech recognition to machine reading and comprehension, have all accelerated. In fact, just last month, our teams achieved human parity in image captioning. These breakthroughs are no longer just theoretical. With Azure AI, we are democratizing them into tools and services for every organization in every industry. We're providing the best cognitive services to bootstrap AI, making it easier to build applications that see, hear, speak, search, understand, and accelerate decision-making. Our new Metrics Advisor cognitive service helps businesses detect anomalies in their metrics. And new spatial analysis capabilities in computer vision help organizations understand people's movements and presence in a physical space so that they can create applications that can count the number of people in a room or aggregate foot traffic in a store, critical in this era of social distancing and contactless shopping. Real estate firm RXR has used these capabilities to monitor occupancy in its buildings. Azure Stack Edge enables these AI models to run on-premise, and with Azure IoT, RXR is able to process and visualize the data in real time using its own line of business applications. We're also thrilled with the progress our partner OpenAI is making in how they're pushing the bounds of what AI can do. Their new GPT-3 model was trained on our Azure AI supercomputer and constitutes a new breakthrough in natural language understanding and generation. And now Microsoft is providing full access to GPT-3 model and enabling breakthrough scenarios for our customers when safely deployed. Let me show you an example of what's possible when you combine the powerful language model with a product like Dynamics 365. Let's go to Vanessa to take a look. Hi, Vanessa.
Thanks, Satya. Trained on Azure's AI supercomputer, GPT-3's natural language generation capabilities produce relevant, intelligible, and well-formed summaries and responses. Groundbreaking advancements that we are equally excited to leverage as we transform the business application space. Microsoft's vision for the future of Dynamics 365 is that it will continue to enable better customer-employee interactions through its network of connected business applications, with inherent advanced AI that can understand and act upon all disparate data, processes, policies, and interactions occurring throughout your organization. Instead of executing a predefined workflow, what if AI could truly understand customers' requests with advanced natural language understanding, dynamically creating and executing programs based on knowledge of business processes to uniquely respond? Advanced natural language generation can then present intelligible and well-formed multilingual responses, and troubleshoot technical issues, seeking out the most relevant knowledge and applying reasoning with business context to identify the root cause, say a slow dispensing coffee machine. AI will even request additional data to analyze, like a picture or video, to help formulate the solution, and assess current sentiment, lifetime value, and patterns of similar customers, presenting only the most appropriate offers and generating quality leads for follow-up. This is a true partnership, with AI continuously improving from human interactions as it generates actionable insights, summaries, suggestions, and automates business operations. It can do more than analyze IoT data. It can detect anomalies and behaviors beyond threshold alerts to understand the reason a customer is dissatisfied. For example, gaining understanding that the product simply doesn't meet the customer needs. AI predicts the best solution. This customer needs an upgrade. To complete this transaction, policy dictates transferring to the next best or preferred agent with a conversation summary, including sentiment, IoT findings, KB articles, similar cases, and suggested remedies. The agent can now simply accept or revise to include an additional retention incentive, say a discount. I want to call out that this minor edit is an opportunity for AI to improve by leveraging reinforcement learning to explore adding discounts in similar cases in the future. The agent can confirm the preferred transaction and prompt AI to complete by dynamically assembling a program that interacts with various Dynamics 365 apps. In tandem, assisting the agent in completing the case with closing remarks and generating standardized case notes. With AI's ability to learn and act with humans in the loop, Microsoft will deliver an unprecedented change in the way you empower your organization with Dynamics 365. And now back to you, Satya.
Thanks so much, Vanessa. I'm excited about our opportunity here. I know we'll have much more to share soon on how we are planning to deploy GPT-3 and make it available to our customers. Let's turn to what developers are doing with mixed reality. Mixed reality blends the digital and physical worlds, and it takes you beyond the screen to understand the interaction between people, places, and things. And we're expanding our portfolio of Azure mixed reality services so that developers can make the entire world their application canvas. New Azure Object Anchors enables developers to build apps that align and anchor 3D content to objects in the physical world. Today, we have the largest ecosystem of enterprise mixed reality applications with more than 150 applications available to support industry-specific scenarios. Lockheed Martin is using one of these applications from our partner Scope AR to build the Orion spacecraft. Let's take a look.
Orion is the only spacecraft that can take humans into deep space, like the moon and Mars. We're just finishing that development phase, moving into production, where we'll be launching Orion about once a year. We're using mixed reality technologies to benefit our programs, requirements, and challenges so that we can produce spacecraft.
Oh, we're hitting a buffer issue here.
At lower costs with higher quality and less time. For Orion, we're using mixed reality to assemble the crew seat. When a technician puts on a HoloLens, they instantly see the work instruction instead of having to go through stacks of rectangular data, whether it's paper or another form of a screen. It understands the environment. It's anchored to the structure, and that allows us to place content within the environment. Being able to see the same design together and look through different options allows us to make those decisions more quickly. With every activity, we're seeing significant reductions in touch labor. We see increases in quality. What we found was that we could take an 8-hour activity and reduce it down to 45 minutes. We see a reduction in cost. We haven't had a single error that's been documented, which is really exciting. We're partnering with Scope AR, who's using Azure Mixed Reality services to bring all of this to life. Mixed reality allows us to move more quickly from concept and design, spanning into tests and operations, and possibly even for astronauts in space.
Having another hiccup on the network here.
It's awesome to see the impact mixed reality can have in a complex project like Orion spacecraft. Now, building tech intensity requires collaboration between every type of developer. Power Platform is the bridge between professional developers and citizen developers. More than ever, organizations need tools that anyone can use to drive impact faster. Power Platform gives you low-code, no-code tools to rapidly create an application, build a virtual agent, automate a workflow, or analyze data. And we've seen remarkable use cases across every industry as citizen developers are working to address the challenges created by COVID-19. CBRE, the Nature Conservancy, and State Street, along with 1,000 other organizations, have signed on to use our end-to-end return to workplace solution to keep employees safe and healthy when they go back to the office. And in education, schools, including Manitou Park Elementary near me here in Washington State, are using Power Platform to navigate an extraordinarily challenging back-to-school environment. Let's take a look.
My name's Lauren Taylor. I am the principal at Manitou Park Elementary. Last year, I was the assistant principal, and during that time, I came across Power Apps. The very first app that I created was our reading app. That's really what sparked kind of a lot of the ingenuity in realizing, okay, I can use this for lots of different systems. With COVID, this school year is one like no other. Teachers needed to submit their schedules for working in the building so that we could all follow health department guidelines. And so one suggestion that we were given was a Word document that teachers fill out and then they would email to the principal. I saw so many emails in my inbox, it almost terrified me. I was looking on the Office 365 homepage and I clicked on Power Automate and I thought, oh, this automates things. Creating the approval flow in Power Automate has saved us time. Success for us is, even in a pandemic, starting with remote learning, our babies are going to learn. There's going to be student growth. The principal role is kind of a catch-all. Anything that needs to be done, you get in there and you do it. I'm often asked, do you consider yourself a developer? And I always say no, I'm an educator. However, I am developing apps. I'll leave it at that.
Lauren exemplifies how everyone, no matter their technology expertise, can use Power Platform to have tremendous impact. But Power Platform isn't just for citizen developers like Lauren. It's a powerful tool chain for pro devs that seamlessly brings together the best of both worlds. A rapid application development platform built from ground up to tightly integrate with pro dev capabilities of Azure. And now we're introducing Azure API management for Power Apps in Teams to give pro developers new options to easily build applications inside of Teams. We're also adding Azure Bot Framework extensibility for Power Virtual Agents to eliminate the gap between low-code and pro-code bot development. And I'm particularly excited about how we're bringing together Power Platform and GitHub for the very first time. Both pro and citizen developers can contribute to the same repo so they can build apps together instead of stitching apps together. We're also making it simpler for anyone in an organization to find and analyze data together from within Teams. An updated Power BI app in Teams makes it easier to discover organizational data and collaborate on insights directly within the familiar Teams experience. Now let's turn to future of work and productivity. Microsoft 365 is the world's productivity cloud across work and life. It's no exaggeration to say that for those of us who have the privilege of working from home, Microsoft 365 has made this possible. And for those who are in need to be at their workplace, including the many first-line workers who have been so critical to keeping our society and economy functioning in the midst of the pandemic, Microsoft 365 has made it easier to connect, collaborate, and get work done. In the UK, the National Health Service chose Microsoft 365 to empower 1.2 million employees with the latest productivity collaboration tools to deliver better outcomes for patients, especially critical in the midst of this pandemic. We're collaborating with the NBA to reimagine the game experience so that fans can feel like they're together from the safety of their home and players can experience the energy of cheering fans in the arena. And in Miami, Florida, a florist turned to Microsoft 365 to keep a small business up and running even in the midst of the pandemic. Let's roll the video.
I call myself a recovering attorney. I was practicing and I just wanted to change the pace and I wanted to be an entrepreneur. When I started House of Lilac, digital was huge for me. As we grew, I really needed a good project management software. I really needed good email. I really needed a good cloud-based service. We were getting so many orders that going to 7 different places was just inefficient. And that's where the need for something like Microsoft Teams kicked in. And what was appealing was that we were able to just house everything on this one platform, which was mind-blowing for us. COVID changed everything for everyone. We weren't able to deliver fresh flowers, so that entire line of revenue was completely wiped out for us. So we made a huge pivot and started selling dried flowers online. The fact that we can't have a lot of staff here can get complicated because we have a lot going on. So being able to use Planner to assign tasks, being able to talk on a call on Teams, or access an Excel document that we can all work off, or have a meeting with other people that might be home, but wanting to see change in real time, like within the document. We've been able to increase efficiency, and I think as we grow, Teams will just become that much more important for us to use. Being able to have some sense of normalcy and send flowers and receive flowers, it makes people happy.
I just love how Melanie is using Teams as a hub for teamwork and integrating it with all our essential Microsoft 365 apps. There's no question that the PC has become mission critical during this pandemic across work, school, and life to sustain productivity in a remote everything world. We think about productivity holistically, understanding how someone spends their time, who they work with, and what content they create, and use these signals to create value for individuals and their organizations. That's the power of Microsoft Graph, and it's the foundation of Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365 is the integrated suite of graph-connected productivity apps and experiences individuals rely on every day. Windows, Office, Outlook, Edge, and Teams. More than 1 billion people now are using Windows 10, and Office 365 usage is higher than ever. 60% of the time spent on the PC is in the browser, and Microsoft Edge makes it easier to find information at work and protect your organization's data as well as your privacy online. Business leaders reported phishing threats as the biggest risk to security since the pandemic started, and Edge blocks more phishing and malware attempts than any other browser. And it's the first browser to natively support data loss prevention, meaning you can manage and control your organization's data when accessed from Edge. We're bringing Edge to Linux next month, so we can now use it across every major platform, including Windows, macOS, iOS, Android, and Linux. And now let's talk about the future of work. The culture of work is rapidly changing. These past several months have served as the largest at-scale experiment we've seen for remote work. We've been studying this closely to understand the changing nature of productivity and are applying these learnings to inform how we build our own products. We think about the future of productivity through 3 vectors. We are creating a system of collaboration for every organization. Core to this is Teams, the platform for work. Work doesn't begin and end inside a meeting. With Teams, we are focused on the entire workflow around a meeting, before, during, and after. It's the only solution with meetings, calls, chat, content collaboration with Office, and business process workflows. And Teams doesn't just connect people inside the organization. It also seamlessly connects you to customers through video meetings, webinars, remote selling, supply chain, and other scenarios. We're adding new video meetings experiences in Teams along with reimagined workspaces for every collaborator, remote, in-person, or on the go. And we're shipping new features each week for both first-line and knowledge workers. Let's stay into Aya to see this in action. Hi, Aya.
Thanks, Satya. I'm excited to show you the latest Microsoft Teams innovations to help you transform meetings and team collaboration. Let me begin on this gorgeous new 85-inch Surface Hub 2S, which we're excited to announce will begin shipping to commercial customers in January. Here, I'm going to join my meeting on the Surface Hub using Proximity Join from my phone or Surface Duo. I can easily select this Surface as my room audio and join the meeting without ever having to touch it. Looks like my colleagues here are already using the digital whiteboard. I love that I can use my personal Surface Slim Pen on the Surface Hub. I can also beautify my handwriting using the magic wand. Our latest meetings innovation is called Together Mode, a new meeting experience where everyone is placed together in a virtual shared space, free of grid lines and background distractions. And with new scenes, you are able to set the tone for your next meeting by choosing your meeting place.
It creates a more natural way to interact with my colleagues.
It also helps me stay focused and reduces fatigue during meetings.
And it strengthens human connectivity, which is essential while so many of us are working remotely.
Now, there are so many exciting new innovations in Teams, so let me play a short video to highlight some of my favorites.
With Microsoft Teams, your team can be more collaborative with your favorite Office apps directly in Teams. More flexible, Dynamic View lets you and your team focus on what's important by pinning the content you want to see. More expressive, with live reactions and chat bubbles that give real-time audience insights. More inclusive, live captions make it easy to follow along, and the hand raise feature ensures that everyone is heard. Live transcripts track not only what was said, but who said it. More together. Uniquely designed Together Mode scenes help teams of all sizes feel close. More customizable. Easily break large meetings into smaller groups for more focused discussions. When you're done, it's easy to bring everyone back together. Achieve more with Microsoft Teams.
Pretty exciting, right? We're also building innovative team solutions for first-line workers. Today, Honeywell is using Microsoft Teams integrated with RealWare to bring situational awareness to first-line workers, letting them troubleshoot issues with a hands-free, voice-controlled experience while live streaming to their remote colleagues. And similarly, Suffolk is using the new walkie-talkie feature in Teams to securely stay connected with workers without needing separate hardware. Now, this was just a quick glimpse of the exciting Teams experiences that will improve teamwork and collaboration for your organization. Back to you, Satya.
Thanks, Aya. I have been relying on many of these innovations extensively during this time of remote work, especially the Together Mode and whiteboarding. Now let's talk about the importance of learning. Moving forward, learning in the flow of work will be increasingly important. Research shows that today, only 1/3 of the employees are encouraged to learn by their managers. But acquiring new skills doesn't stop when someone gets to a job. You need to build your knowledge capital by learning every day. Just as every company today has a system of engagement with CRM or a system of record with ERP, they will require a system of learning, a continuous feedback loop between the work, skills, and learning required to succeed at the task at hand. People are turning to LinkedIn Learning more than ever to pick up new skills. Later this year, we'll preview a new learning application inside of Teams that will allow employers to integrate content from LinkedIn Learning, Microsoft Learn, and other content providers along with their own learning content all in one place. The app will allow managers to assign and track learning progress and make it easier for employees to discover, share, and engage with learning content in a natural flow of their work, as well as build their own credentials. Finally, we know that prioritizing employee well-being is core to an organization's success. It's important to understand what has been lost, what has been gained through this crisis, and especially the balance between optimal organizational productivity and employee well-being. Productivity just can't be about short-term employee output. In a world where you can easily feel isolated, organizations need to equip employees with the tools to rebuild social capital, focus, and stay healthy. And they need to better measure and improve employee engagement using tools like workplace analytics as well as Glint. The current situation is quite stark. 1/3 of remote workers say the lack of separation between work and life is negatively impacting their well-being. 30% of the information workers and first-line workers say pandemic has increased their feeling of burnout at work. And video meeting fatigue is real. Video meetings force our brains to concentrate more and carry a higher cognitive load, as you can see in this diagram here. It's one reason we created the Together mode. Our research shows that the brain exerts less effort when participating in a meeting using Together mode compared to the standard grid view. To help employees adapt, we are bringing new well-being features and productivity insights right into Teams. Employees will receive insights tailored to their role along with recommended actions, making it easier to change habits. A new virtual commute will provide a much-needed structure for the remote workday, helping carve out the time for cognitive breathers to have a productive start in the morning and mindfully disconnect in the evening. And through integrations with apps like Headspace, people will be able to easily tap into the dedicated moments of mindfulness to make the most of their breaks, something which most people say would help them reduce work-related stress. I'm excited to talk to Andy Puddicombe, co-founder Headspace, about what this partnership means.
Nice.
Hi Andy, you have such an incredible story. You're a former Buddhist monk who's one of the world's foremost experts on meditation and mindfulness. It's great to be partnering together. Mindfulness and well-being are something we are seeking during these times. The research on the benefits of mindfulness are so clear, but now it's imperative we have these options in the flow of work. Can you talk more about that?
Sure. Hi, Satya. It's lovely to see you again. Look, the breadth and depth of research into mindfulness is really sort of significant now. I think even at Headspace, we have more than 70 clinical trials in the pipeline. And I think what it's shown is, I think traditionally most people, when they think of meditation, they think of relaxation, they maybe think of clarity. They don't necessarily think how it applies to work. I think the research has shown us that it can not only help us sort of feel less stressed in the workplace, but also to be more focused, to be more productive, to be more creative. And I think all of that is interesting. But what excites me more than that is more like the holistic approach to this. Because I don't know about you, but how I think during the day impacts how I feel at home in the evening. And how I live my life at home impacts the way I perform at work.
You know, Andy, for those watching who don't have much time, what's the one thing people can do to get started?
Yeah, so I want to reassure people. I think often people are worried they don't have time for meditation, although their mind is too busy for meditation. So you can start with just a few minutes a day. And I really mean that, sort of as little as 3 minutes, 5 minutes a day. The benefit of that is that it kind of anchors the mind. It trains the muscle of attention. So it teaches us to recognize when we're getting distracted and to come back to the present. So that, let's say, for example, when we get to lunchtime, instead of eating a sandwich in front of the screen, whilst answering emails, whilst scrolling social media, we actually say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take 5 or 10 minutes just to eat my sandwich. And in training the mind consistently in that way and taking regular breaks, we can actually experience the roller coaster ride of life, but have a different relationship with it, not necessarily feeling like this the whole time, but actually feeling like we have a sense of calm and clarity throughout our everyday world.
That's a great piece of advice in terms of framing how you frame the relationship. Thanks so much, Andy. I'm really excited about our partnership and how we can help people reduce stress and practice mindfulness in the context of their everyday work. And it's sort of something that we are very passionate about. And I know you have deep expertise, and it's great to come together and partner. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Thanks, Satya.
Now let's turn to business applications. Dynamics 365 is the world's connected business cloud. Across every